Testing. Okay, if you could hear my voice, it's an invitation to acknowledge that it's time to come in and take a seat because we are about to start the service in less than a minute. So are you and Daniel the same person? Because when he was here, you were not. Now you're here and he's not.
Yes, right. You never see us together. No. I'm going to do the first special music, opening music, and then together.
Okay, I don't care. Are we good, Rick? Yeah. All right, roll it. Let's go.
All right.
Do it.
Here we are.
Thank you for this day, God, and my place in it. Thank you for each breath and every minute. And more than anything, the song and the heart to sing it. Thank you for the earth and sky above me, for how I love my friends and how they love me. And more than anything, the thought that you're proud of me. Oh, thy kingdom come, and thy will be done, as it is in earth for each and every one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the eyes to see you. Thank you for the ears to hear the truth. And more than anything, the hands to serve and be you. Oh, thy kingdom come, and thy will be done, as it is in earth for each and every one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings, or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, It's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, or Jesus, or Lord. Call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Whoa. What we are is it's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Good morning, and welcome to our service at Unity of Fox Valley. And it's not too late to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and it's not too early to wish everybody a very Happy New Year. We are so grateful for your presence with us this morning, and that includes those of you who may be tuned in on our YouTube channel. We thank you for sharing your loving energy with us at this time. I would like to just remind everybody to please take a moment and silence your cell phones if you have not yet done so. Obviously, our format today is different. The music team has the week off, a well-deserved rest for the blessings they have bestowed upon us over the past several weeks. And the best that I could do to come up with replacements are two people that are incredible songwriters and composers, and have been certainly blessing my life and many people in the Unity movement with songs that I don't know how they turn out things that touch people's hearts the way that they do. So I am speaking of Megan McDonough, and for those of you who do not know, Megan has recently become employed by Unity of Des Plaines. She is now the spiritual leader of that church. So. And the other person is no stranger to us. It is Daniel Nahmad. Where'd you go, Daniel? We are incredibly grateful for your presence of both of you this morning. And a quick promo. In addition to doing the Sunday service, this incredible dynamite duo will be doing a concert shortly after the church service today, beginning around 12:30. So if you have not bought a ticket yet, you certainly have an opportunity to do so outside in the fellowship area after the service. And one more quick plug while I'm at it. Both of them have tables set up so that if you wish to take advantage of hearing their music, and taking it home with you so you could enjoy it regularly, you will have an opportunity to purchase that, as well as some other items, of craft items, jewelry and things like that, that have been fashioned by Daniel's wife. So please don't scurry out. The coffee will still be there downstairs for you, waiting for you afterwards. Take a moment and peruse what's available to you. Okay. I'm also going to get the rest of the announcements out of the way so that we can enjoy, like I said, a slightly different format this morning. Okay. The first one I've already mentioned is the concert at 12:30. So really take a moment if you could join us for that. You will not regret it. This Tuesday at 6 a.m., like in the morning, 6 in the morning, will be the World Healing Meditation. People around the world will gather to participate in the most comprehensive prayer activity. It is a planetary affirmation of peace and love, forgiveness and understanding in a simultaneous global prayer link to achieve a critical mass of spiritual awareness. Please join us as we circle the globe with prayers for peace for the new year. The burning bowl and the white stone service has been a tradition of our congregation, seeking spiritual direction as a way of letting go of that which is no longer needed, so that we are open and receptive to experience new, enriching spiritual opportunities for the new year. Please join us next Sunday for this special service. Then, once we got you in the building, please stay after that service to help undecorate the church. More hands make quick work, okay? Also, Sunday, January 5th is Soup Sunday. Please sign up downstairs and let Bob know if you are a bringer of soup to share with the congregation, so that he does not go out and spend a lot of money unnecessarily buying soup. And today is the last chance to be in the church directory. So there's a table set out right behind those chairs there. We moved it. If you were in the directory last year, it's really easy. All you have to do is find your name on the sheets that are spread out and check OK, and you're done. If you're not in the directory and you would like to do so, there are sign-up sheets asking for information so that you may be included. I almost said concluded. You don't want to be concluded. You got a lot more time yet. So please take a moment to do that. The next book study starts Tuesday, January 14th, and will be held online. The book, Universal Human, gives us new tools to grow spiritually and shows us how to transform everyday experiences of hopelessness, emptiness, and pain into fulfillment, meaning, and joy. Register at the sign-up table or RSVP to Deb McQuaid so she can provide you with the Zoom link. And that concludes our announcements. So now I would like to call Bobby to please come up and share with us today's daily word reading.
Now you can see me, right? Good morning, everyone. I would like to take this moment to welcome you and just say, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we are so glad that you chose to be with us today. I will be your prayer chaplain after the service. I will be most honored to hold sacred space with you if you have need for prayer or just a chat. See me after the service. I'll be right down here or over by the prayer box. So now I ask you to just become centered as I bring you today's daily word, prayer for others. In prayer, I know the truth about others. I feel honored when someone asks me for my support in prayer. My heart and mind join with theirs as I hold thoughts that affirm the truth of them, their divinity. I pray they know they are created in the image of God, that the qualities of life, love, and wisdom are part of their spiritual inheritance. As I pray, I see their divine qualities expressing. I envision divine life flowing through them and divine love comforting them and harmonizing their relationships. I see them whole and well, loved and loving, prosperous and secure. As I pray, I focus on the spiritual truth and trust that the divine presence is the answer to every prayer. And from Corinthians 14:15, what should I do then? I will pray with the Spirit, but I will pray with the mind also. I will sing praise with the Spirit, but I will sing praise with the mind also. So in prayer, I know the truth about others and you. Blessings.
Thank you, Bobby. Before we proceed with the Lord's Prayer, I forgot to ask, is anybody here for the first time? Any first-time visitors to our church? Okay. So I invite you then to please return to your feet and join in singing with us the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Thank you.
Seated. It's that fun time in the service where we get to bless the children and their teachers. Please join me in blessing them. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you and know that you are empowered to do great things.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. What, are you kidding? I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel? I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, 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 let it shine.
You too now.
We're on.
Sorry.
So happy to be here.
I think your mic needs to be louder, I think.
Okay. Why, thank you. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah. Is my mic louder than her mic? I feel like it is. Yeah, if you could just turn up
Check
her
1, 2.
mic. Yeah.
Check. Thank you. You'll get your $5 just like we arranged. So, this is going to be an experience, a new and wonderful way of doing Sunday service. I'm so happy to be doing it with Daniel. So, we're going to start with this is the power of a song, and I think I'd like to start with the power of
The song itself?
the song itself. This was the most powerful song for me when I was 10 years old. Oh yeah, I'll tell you something I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, and please say to me, you're gonna be my man. Oh, please say to me, you're gonna hold my hand. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside, which is as risque as it got in 1964. It's such a feeling that my love. Are you ready? I can't hide, I can't hide, I can't hide. Oh yeah, you got that something I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. When I was 10 years old, the Beatles saved my life. Right there in our living room that fateful winter night, as I watched in rapt attention to this new and wondrous art, They performed their psychic surgery, linking my vocal cords and heart. Ringo was my favorite, though Paul was pretty cute. John was so beyond me, and George seemed so aloof. Well, they took my very being to its place of destiny. Then I started singing and set my spirit free. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ever since that Sunday night on the Ed Sullivan Show, found a place to take my dreams, a path that I could follow. And while it wasn't always easy, I wouldn't change a thing, because it was the Beatles that taught my heart to sing. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you, yeah, 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 yeah. Ringo. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so we thought we'd structure this a little bit as like a mutual interview. The power of a song. So you just shared a Beatles song. Is that song true?
Yes, absolutely.
So you were 10
I was 10.
when you heard the Beatles.
I was 10. I had just turned 10.
Okay.
And I'll never forget that Sunday night. And the Beatles, it was the talk, and I'm the seventh of 9 kids, so I was not watching TV alone. But everything faded from the room. It was like, must go there, must. It was the most joyful, heart-opening experience I'd ever had. It was magic.
So, I mean, millions of people had the experience of watching it.
Yes.
And it's it's like one of those moments people didn't forget ever seeing.
Right.
But you have taken it over the last few decades into a life of making music. So did you know when you were 10 what you were capable of? Did you have an inkling? Did you have an urge to do it?
Yeah, oh my gosh, yes. When I was 5, it's one of the only pictures I have of, I'm in my tap shoes, and I'm getting ready to sing All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth at the St. Thomas the Apostle Christmas pageant. And I just remember always singing, dancing, hamming it up. It was a way to get my parents' attention, too, I have to admit, I'm here. But also, it was just what I did. It was like a download. I got a download very young that you will sing. It's like my parents' friend, who I knew as Aunt Mary. Her name was Mary Hennigan. She was the woman who suggested to my parents that they name me Megan. Now, Megan was not a saint's name. And I would later say, not yet. But it's like, you shall be named. I mean, it was like one of those, you shall be named Megan. And the nuns wouldn't call me Megan because it wasn't a saint's name. They called me Mary, which was my first name. But I think in Greek, and this sounds like bragging, but in Greek it means great voice.
Really?
Yeah, Megan makes great
voice. See, one of the things that's just true about you is, a lot of people make music, right? And I said it last night. We did a show last night on public radio on WFMT,
Yeah.
and I said out loud, is there a prettier voice? And everybody applauds, but I actually mean it. It is your voice.
We have mutual admiration.
Well, but truly, and one of the things that's of course also true about your voice, not only is it beautiful, which isn't really something you can decide that it's going to be beautiful. It's really the luck of the Irish.
Luck of the draw.
But you also have impeccable comprehension of music and pitch and so on. And these things, somebody would have had to notice that about you. That not only did you want to sing, but it was lovely to hear you sing.
Yes.
And how old were you when that started happening?
Well, my mom was a singer.
Okay.
My mom was toured with the USO back in the day.
An actual performer.
Oh yeah, she was a nightclub singer. I remember finding one of her nightclub singer photographs, tucked away, and I was going to take it to school because, it was very glamorous. I was going to take it to school because it was Bring a Picture of Your Parents' Day at school at St. Thomas. And my mother, thank God, caught me. Where are you going with that? Oh, I'm taking it to school. No, not that. At any rate, she was a great singer. We were totally embarrassed of her singing so loudly in church because she was raised Baptist, so she sang out.
Right.
So that's where I got my encouragement. She was my first voice teacher.
Your mom was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Danny? Who was your voice teacher? First voice teacher?
I had no voice teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a gift.
I had no voice teacher, yeah. Actually, I never sang. The only places I ever sang was in synagogue.
Oh, gosh, that would make me cry. Anytime I hear a cantor,
Yeah, you said that yesterday. It's interesting. Yeah, and the truth is that the melodies are almost designed they're melancholy melodies, most of them Eastern European melodies. And I've done very little. I've done a lot of songwriting, but I've written very few songs that have that timbre to them.
Yes.
But I certainly grew up singing. The only singing I ever did as a kid was in the private Jewish school choir.
Wow.
And my bar mitzvah.
Wow.
Although, actually, I have been told many, many times over the years that I enunciate very nicely when I sing, that my words are actually understandable, and I know exactly where that came from. My dad teaching me the bar mitzvah thing that I was going to do. If anybody here has ever had a bar mitzvah is a 13-year-old boy gets in front of the synagogue's service and leads the service, essentially. So you sing in Hebrew and you give the talk, and you lead the prayers. You take the place of the cantor for some of it, and you
Is it
and
the Haftorah?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, we read the Torah, we read the Haftorah, we gave the talk, we did the whole shlemiel, the whole whatever. I don't know the whole. Yeah, whatever Yiddish word you want to toss in there, the whole spiel. And but my dad always said, and I went to I'm from a traditional Jewish home. We went to a not quite Orthodox synagogue, but pretty close, a kosher home. My older brother's a rabbi. That's how. There's real religion in the family. I am the weirdo and the heretic by a mile. Yeah, thank you. But our bar mitzvahs, I'm one of three boys, the middle, and all three of us, we were trained extensively to have this bar mitzvah. It was a real thing. The service is entirely in Hebrew, except for the talk, the sermon that we would give. So my dad would, and there's no microphones, there's no amplification. There's no there's no musical instruments, and there's no electricity. There's no amplification in a synagogue, in an Orthodox synagogue. So a cantor, or a 13-year-old in this case, has to project. It must be audible. I'm trying to think. We might have had a microphone. Maybe, but it was slow and loud, slow and loud, slow and loud. Lessons for like a year with my dad, mostly, teaching me every piece of the service. And that was the first public singing. But I never sang I did a couple karaoke things in college, and it was horrible and mortifying. And then I went into computer programming after college for 6 years. And I would say a friend of mine, we'll call her a friend, once said to me, Daniel, when I first heard you sing, I thought to myself, he's not a great singer, but he's so enthusiastic. And did it hurt my feelings? Absolutely. Was she right? Absolutely. And I'm not saying I'm a great singer now, but certainly I've learned on the job, the same way I've learned.
You're one of my favorite singers, Danny,
Well,
and you have incredible projection. And I
projection,
dubbed,
yes.
I dubbed Danny a member of the Banshee Clan, what I call the Banshee Clan, because the power with which you sing is fantastic. Also, you're one of the most musical singers I know. But what was your Beatles song? I mean,
Yeah,
what was your Beatles moment?
I've been thinking about that.
Maybe it was your bar mitzvah. Sounds like.
I mean,
Do you remember
kinda.
any of your Haftorah?
No. But actually, since it is Hanukkah, it did occur to me
Yes.
I could sing. I mean, yeah. To be honest, so like the question for you was, right? The answer for you was, you remember this Beatles song, and I have songs in my head that are, like would have no place in a service at a church. I mean, I'm thinking of like a Pink Floyd song, or a Simon and Garfunkel song. Certainly the Beatles too. I remember listening to Alan Parsons' project, if some of you remember, I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. Well, my brain has always been a musician's brain, like apparently yours has been too, always. I cannot, if you're talking to me and there's music playing in the room, you don't know that you've only got, like 30 to 50% of my brain. Because I am not just hearing it. I am processing it. It's just like with how beautiful your voice is. I know you've trained it. I know you've used it. I know you've mastered it over the years. But you also know that it's a born thing. It starts as a born thing.
But I lost my voice in my late 20s.
What do you mean you lost it?
Nodes. I had nodes. I was singing.
You
with
had
the
to bring
band.
it back.
Oh yeah. I had to. I say that Barbara Streisand taught. My mom was my first voice teacher, but really, I learned how to sing from Barbara Streisand.
Who, by the way, was self-taught herself.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Barbara Streisand did not have lessons.
And but I learned to breathe from a singer by the name of Irene Krall, who I discovered in the 80s.
Irene Krall, no relation to Diana Krall?
No, not that I
Okay,
know.
okay.
Just a sensational singer. I went steady with her her album, LP, for months. I played it constantly. It is a perfect example of how to breathe when singing. And I tell my students, and you probably tell yours, I take Danny's on, you don't do them anymore, but I loved your vocal.
You did?
I loved
You don't
that.
need my vocal exercises.
Oh, on the contraire, mon frère.
Yeah.
They were fantastic. Yeah. But I want to hear a song
Okay,
that
okay.
was
All right.
pivotal for you.
Yeah, pivotal. Okay. Well, I mean, as I say, right now it's Hanukkah, and I've been lighting candles. I light the candles on Facebook when I'm not home right now, but I'll be doing it again. If anybody wants to join me, by the way, it's a plug for I have no benefit whatsoever. You're invited. Every night I light the candles because for people who, just to share the experience. But my favorite song for Hanukkah is a good example of a song that I've been singing my entire life, long before I would call myself a singer, knew what I was doing. Whether I do or not is debatable. But here we go. Here's a song. Sure, that's a good key. This is a song you sing after you've lit the Hanukkah candles. You light the candles for 8 nights. Today is like the 4th or 5th night. I don't know. Ma'osur Yeshuati L'chana Elishabeya Tikkun Beit Tefilati L'sham Toda Nizabeya Li'e tachin matbeach mitzuram nabeach azek mor b'shir mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach Azek mor b'shir mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach. And that's actually, that song, I love that song. Well, and that's a perfect example, actually, of the musician brain that is all because there's no piano accompaniment to it. You're standing in front of the menorah at night in front of a window. So that's me playing it by ear. That's me thinking about that song for 50 years and processing what chords are actually happening. How would I accompany it? So in other words, that's my brain. So I mentioned the Eye in the Sky song. There's a tape that my brothers were mercilessly mocking of. I had a cassette recorder, and the song Eye in the Sky came on, and I hit record on my tape, and I sang harmony to Don't Think Sorry's Easily Said. You don't know if you remember this beautiful song. And my brothers found the tape, and laughed their heads off at it because it was absurd because Danny was singing harmonies into the tape player along with it. I was probably 7 or 8. But that's how my brain is always working. I'm always processing music. So in some sense, it's all been chucked, like we talked about Steve Goodman last night, being very much a chameleon, being a very versatile musician. Well, in our house, there was opera and folk and country and rock and jazz, and all of it got dumped into my head. Meanwhile, even unbeknownst even to myself, really, but certainly unbeknownst to the rest of the family, I am listening to that music on multiple levels, and it's not a boast also to say, processing it in ways that few people can process music. I could pretty much play you back any song I hear if you give me a minute to listen to it.
True.
It's just true.
Unbelievable.
It's not, there's people who do it better, but there's a lot going on in my head when I'm listening to music.
Yes.
I could write out the sheet music for whatever I'm listening to, that kind of thing.
The first time I ever saw that done, I was 15 maybe, and I was in my producer's office. And
you had a producer at 15?
I won a radio contest, the Big Break, WLS in Chicago, Big Break radio contest. And one of the prizes was a recording contract with Mercury Records. They released me instead of the record, but I did make a couple 45s. But I remember seeing Bobby Schiff. He's a terrific musician in town. I saw him listening to a record and writing it down. I thought, I was astonished. It was the most astonishing thing I'd ever seen. And you do it every day. You do it every day. And Danny, there's a certain, it is kind of a bane at times, right? To be the music. To me, you are music. It becomes like a tattoo. It becomes a soul tattoo of, and that each one of us has this tattoo, our calling
Of something.
Of
right.
something.
Right.
For you and I, it was music.
We found it.
Exactly.
Right.
Could you play the pivotal song that went from, because we started in pop and we started in rock, we started in folk. Folk music where there are hundreds of dollars to be made.
Yeah.
Yearly.
From dozens of people.
From dozens of people.
Yeah.
Yearly. So how did you come to New Thought music?
To singing in a Unity church. I was pretending to be a computer programmer downtown Chicago. I grew up in Skokie. And I got a phone call sitting at my cubicle while I was pretending to work. And it was a minister of something called a religious science church, which I had never heard of, and I assumed it was a cult. And he said, we have $50, and we need a piano player for this Sunday. And to this day, I don't actually know how he got my number. Truly don't know. And I showed up at the Orrington Hotel, where they had rented a meeting room, and I played, I probably played Some Say Love, It Is a River. I probably played that, or I played Imagine There's No Heaven, right? Or I played From a Distance There Is I don't remember the words. I played one of those songs, and they loved it, and they asked me back for the next week, and the next week I played one of those other songs, and the next week I ran out of songs, and I started writing them songs. I believe the first song I ever wrote them became the title of my first album, which was It Is Beautiful If You Make It So. God is with you all the time. It is wonderful if you let it flow. You'll know joyfulness in time. You are searching for your destiny. You are looking to be free. It will happen once you finally know that you and God alone will make it so. So that was, I think, the first song. And every week, I had no songs to sing, so I listened to the talk, and I wrote the song in the back of the room while I was listening to the talk, and went up there and sang, and I have no idea if they were any good, and these all 12 people in the room would give me a standing ovation and tell me I was wonderful, and for a year and a half I did that while I wrapped up the computer programming. Really, when I flew away from that job and said goodbye to those nice people, in a very real way, they had built me up with their encouragement. And I've sometimes half-jokingly said that I think in that room I found the secret to world peace, which is everybody should get a standing ovation once a week for a year and a half. And you'd have a lot less to prove, and you'd be a lot more confident in your role, in your place in the world, because it really did wonders for me. I was not raised to be a musician, I mean, in the back of my mind, I'm always a musician, but in the back of my mind, I still have a voice in my head saying that certainly there's a steadier livelihood. But I was raised to be a professional. I was raised to be a lawyer. My parents are both attorneys. My dad was a professor at Chicago Kent for 45 years, and we were really meant to be. All three boys were meant to be better dressed at work than I am, and with benefits. I hear about benefits all the time. I vaguely remember 401k. So for you, okay, so you had the Beatles. Opened your eyes. You were singing at home. Your mother was encouraging you and teaching you, and then we're here years later. And what was a pivotal song for you in this moment from little Megan, even 16, 15-year-old Megan?
Yeah.
From then to the person now who sings so beautifully and has done so many things. I mean, she's the star of a one. You want to hear a challenge for a singer? A one-woman show about Patsy Cline. Rave reviews
Thank
for
you.
being Patsy Cline for 2 hours. Have you ever heard Patsy Cline sing? We're talking about world-class skill, not normal skill. So how'd you get from there to here? What's the bridge? Is there a bridge?
The one thing I have not done in my life is had a plan. And they're great, I couldn't have planned any of it. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed that, we've kept our divine appointment, that Mike Corpin and I have kept our divine appointment. Mike is one of my best friends, and someone I know that I could go to and he has helped me tremendously in my new gig. But so much has come to me that I could never have planned. I remember reading the Daily Word in 1978. And,
Why was there a daily word in your presence in 1978?
My mom was reading it, and she shared it with me. A friend of hers had sent it to her. I was going through quite a struggle, and I loved the Daily Word, and I went to a Unity church in my hometown of Crystal Lake, and then I started going to Unity services, and I heard the song, I behold the Christ in you.
Oh, sing that song.
Here the love of God I see God in all you do. I can see you whole and free. Now, whenever I cry involuntarily, like whenever tears come to my eyes, I know it's spirit. Lo and behold, a friend of mine, a marvelous musician that I had been in a band with for several years, Ed Tossing, called me one day and said, listen, I'm going out of town. Could you sub for me at Unity on the North Shore? And I was singing in clubs at the time, and I said, yeah, Ed, I have no idea what I would sing. And he said, why don't you sing your song, If Love is a Dream? And that started everything. If love is a dream, let me sleep forever. Wake me never if love is a dream. If truth is a key, let me be the keeper and not the grim reaper of lies. For the time passes by, I can hear it laugh and cry in our face. It is mocking the space that we let separate our hearts. I was starting to write New Thought songs that I didn't even realize were New Thought songs. I'd gotten my start as a folk singer, music with meaning. So,
you must have had when you start singing a song like that, in a room, it's not a cafe, it's not a bar.
Right.
People aren't there to talk over you.
Right.
Or to sometimes listen.
Right.
So you must, that is so, I've never heard that song.
Yeah.
That is so pretty.
Thank you.
You must have very quickly discovered, like I did even for those 11 people at the Orrington,
Exactly.
that the power of a song in you carries through as the power of a song from you into someone else. Right? That must have been eye-opening for you.
Eye-opening. And what was the song? We're coming up on our time boundary. What was the song, for me, your song, One Power, thank you for singing
Yeah, you
that.
mentioned it, so yeah.
But
yeah.
what was the song that really changed people's lives? That one changed my life.
Yeah, I was thinking about that question. You and I, obviously, we could tell a lot of stories about specific moments that where we find out a song does something special.
Yes, right.
And we also know, maybe you put it a different way, but we both know that we certainly don't plan such things. We
Some
write
days
it,
I'm just pushing the pen.
That's it. We write it, we release it, and then it's not ours anymore.
Right.
And the effect it has, and this is true in life, isn't it, I think? We do the work we can do, we say the kind word we can say, we hug when it's accepted, right? We support when it's accepted, we receive it when we can manage, and all of these ripples go in all directions, none of which are under the control of any one person. So for us, the ripples that we put out are songs. And but I would say if there's a song that most immediately, as soon as it came out, was very clearly impactful, it would be this one. If this is my last song, if this is my final day, If tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? Oh, but fortune and fame, they scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller 'cause of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time? Now, I've told the story a few times, so well, it's okay. Thank you. And just as an example, it's one of the most powerful feedbacks I've ever gotten was when that song immediately came out. There had been a little girl at a conference I had sung at for a bunch of years, a little girl who had helped me sell CDs, which might sound cute or funny, but it actually, a cute little girl helping you sell CDs is really good for business. But while she's standing there hawking my CDs, she was peppering me with a million questions about how to write songs and how did I do that and how do I play piano and sing at the same time and where did I record this and what blah 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 blah. It was a million questions, and she did that year after year after year, and then I didn't see her for several years, and then the Water album came out, and I sent out all these pre-orders albums, and I didn't notice her name. Her name is Emily. I didn't notice her name in the pre-order list, and 1 week after I sent out the CDs, I got an email from Emily, and it said, I don't know if you remember me, I'm that little girl who used to ask you a million questions about music, and I want you to know I've just applied to college in music, and I'm going to be making music my career. It's my passion, and I just listened to your Water album, and I loved it, and I wanted to just tell you that if you're wondering, it's very hard for me to talk about. I mean, it's emotional every time I think about it. If you're wondering whether a child stands a little bit taller because of something that you said, the answer is yes. Love, Emily. And right, so it's a moment that we don't actually we get feedback in the moment when we're performing, but that kind of response, it's like the Beatles song. It's like it's that becomes, ironically, that song now for me, it changes over the years, right? We sing a song and our lives are different, so it means different things. But that song started with my nieces when I would think about children when I'd sing that line. Then it became my own son, who's now 13. But ever since I got that email from Emily, it's also about Emily, and I think about that. So, and what about you? A song that for you has had an impact?
Which I will do at the concert.
You're not going to do it now?
No.
No, you got to do it now.
No.
Do it during the offering.
Okay.
No, you don't want to? You want to wait?
I'll do it during the offering.
Or you want to leave?
Yeah.
Keep them hanging.
No.
Keep
but
me hanging.
I will do it after the offering.
Yeah, do it during the offering. Yeah, okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope that you know the difference you have made in people's lives with what you do, what you say. Let's meditate, shall we? Let's go to center. Knowing there is one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God the good, omnipotent. We go to center knowing this, and that we are one with this one and can never be separated from it. For it lives, moves, and has its being in, as, and through us. And all is well. And it's from this place of oneness we focus on the word acceptance. I accept my connection with God. I allow this connection. For it lives, moves, and has its being in, as, and through us. That we are God's hands and feet and voice. The wisdom of God expresses through us. The love of God is brought into the world through us. We accept this. Life's circumstances feel easier to accept things when they're going well, of course. But acceptance can be more of a challenge to practice when I am called to face undesirable or painful experiences. Acceptance is possible no matter how dire the circumstance or how seemingly hopeless the situation. When I surrender my concerns to the divine within, I am living my faith that sometimes the highest and best outcomes may not be what I envision or hope for. But all is well and in divine order. I accept all. In the words of Eckhart Tolle, accept as if you have asked for the very thing that's going on. That is putting feet on my faith, that level of acceptance. Your kingdom come, your will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. We accept, we allow, we are grateful. God is present, and all is well.
Before we move on to our love offering, I can't help it. It's the minister in me, and there's a microphone in front of me. I want to thank you again for the message that you delivered by sharing significant parts of your lives and your hopes and dreams. And you both ended up on a musical path, but those paths were not the same. They were different. And what I heard from you is that we all have a unique talent. We all have a special something. We all have hopes and dreams. And all we have to do is dare to make it happen. So thank you for that message. And one last thing, I never clued you in on this. I clued Susan in on this. You know, when I transition, I really want you guys to do the memorial service. And now, no, the good news is you can't pass until I do. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good, so that bodes well for the two of you. And I told Susan, no expense should be worried about. If you're on the other side of the world, there's an insurance policy. She could fly you in. I told her to put you up at the best Western that she could find.
I was going to say, you shouldn't tell us this before the negotiations begin. You're undercutting all your position here.
You are wonderful musicians. I don't know if you ever thought of yourself also as prophets and priest and priestess, but you are also that. And I fully believe in angels, and I think you brought that to this platform today too, so thank you again. And now it's time for our love offering, our sacrament of giving and receiving. I say it every week, but I'll never stop saying it. We thank you so much for your financial contributions, your donations that really help us keep this plant going. But way, way more than that, the gifts of yourself. I do not know of another congregation where people are stepping forward and so present to one another when people are hurting and trouble in any way. It extends absolutely through our per chaplaincy program and that very special ministry, but it also extends to you folks as individuals, because I have seen it happen. So thank you for that. And with that, let's join in our affirmations. God is my instant, constant, abundant source of supply, and divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am, I have, I give, and I receive. And divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all the good that we are, we have, we give, and we receive. Music.
Okay. You know, it's interesting that Danny comes from a pretty traditional Jewish home. I come from a very traditional Catholic upbringing, and I know I've disappointed my father, who passed before my mom, which we would not be sitting here had my father survived my mom, because I'm pretty sure he was intent on all of us girls going into the convent. And so, sorry, Dad, but this was my calling.
You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every breath you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is found in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't have to know right now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes and take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing. You're here to do amazing things. Amazing.
Okay, it's time for our congregational blessing. I invite you to please stand, turn to the person next to you or across the aisle, and we will do this, confer that blessing upon one another. And then we will do our prayer of protection, and I think there's a song that we will close with, okay? So the congregational blessing, we love you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you, and know that you are empowered to do great things. In our prayer of protection, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yes.
All right. Let's sing something together. Are you ready? Okay. Here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Whoa, my soul is welcome here. Whoa, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah. All right. My guitar is down to 0. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Whoa, my soul is welcome here. Whoa, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. We'll see you.